Breaking story just moments ago, the Supreme Court and this landmark ruling, the court making same-sex marriage legal in this country across every state in this nation.
I'm so happy for
This ruling from the Supreme Court affirms what millions across this country already know to be true in our hearts. Our love is equal.
On June 26, 2015, millions of lives were changed. Marriage finally became a word for everybody, and America took one step closer to equality. But not everyone was so happy. A conflict of ideas. Gay marriage versus the church. But why are these two things, two communities centralized on love, at odds at all? First thing you need to know. Being gay is not a choice. Whatever your sexuality, you were born with it. If it was a choice, don't you think people would choose to be accepted into society? Millions of people are LGBT. And God truly loves us. This is not up for debate. So why would he punish all these people to be born into a lifestyle that he himself does not approve of? It simply doesn't make sense. Then why, you may ask, does the Bible so clearly state that man shouldn't lie with another man? Well, it's not as black and white as you'd think. In fact, biblical scholars believe that verse may not be talking about homosexuality at all. In fact, it seems most likely that it's talking about sexual abuse. The definition of marriage in the Bible is a sacred covenant between a man and a woman. And that is the main argument against gay marriage, that technically, it's not marriage at all. But here's the thing. The definition of marriage has already changed. In Jesus' time, marrying was about bearing children. It was about exchanging wealth between families. Husband and wife barely met before they were conjoined. Today, who would deny that marriage is about love? The definition of marriage has already changed. Why shouldn't it change a little more to encompass the love of every person? Also, in the verses that condemn homosexuality, it says that the punishment is death by stoning. That alone is un-Catholic. Who really believes that God wants us to kill gay people with rocks? Really? And if we can't believe that part, what reason do we have to believe the other part? It seems to me that gay marriage and the church should have no conflict between them. At heart, they are about the same thing. Love. The world needs to stop justifying their bias with our wonderful religion, because they go hand in hand. But this is not enough. The rights themselves do not stop the overwhelming prejudice against the LGBT community in our society. The truth is, not many people even notice it anymore. A recent study reported that 50% of all youth do not understand that discriminatory language is offensive, nor do they realize the negative impact on LGBT youth. Thousands of kids in our country are being bullied, physically hurt, even kicked out of their own homes, all for their sexuality. And maybe you all know this, and maybe you all care. But what have we done about it? Even in our happy little school, I have heard gay used as an insult. I have heard people called fags. And that is the problem. The problem is that unless you're dealing with it yourself, you probably don't think about it. Well, think about it now. Here are the statistics. LGBT teens are 8.5 times more likely to commit suicide. 1/3 of all suicide attempts are due to a crisis in sexual identity. Think about that. Now, every year, there are about 2 million homeless teenagers in America. And this is completely true. 50% of that 2 million are LGBT, living on the streets because they were not accepted at home. Nearly 1/5 of all students are physically assaulted because of their sexual orientation, and over 1/10 because of their gender expression. These statistics are from a study done by GLSEN, the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network. And here's the final statistic. 50% of all LGBT youth are not accepted at home after coming out about their sexual identity. 50%. It's like a coin flip. Heads, you get to be honest with the people you love, and they still respect and accept you. But tails, you lose their respect, their acceptance. Your home life changes drastically, for the worse. Or maybe you won't even have a home life anymore. 26% are forced out of their homes. Would you really flip that coin? And this is just in America. Being gay is even illegal in places like Russia. Kissing someone of the same sex could land you in jail there.
Oh, Aiden, can you close the door?
Members of the LGBT community risk a lot by coming out. I have a friend who once came out to me over text.
Drink a lot of water.
He said that he knew I probably wouldn't want to be his friend anymore. That broke my heart, that the risk for him being himself was so great. And yet, he still went through with it. He needed to be himself, despite all risks. There shouldn't be a risk. We as a world have come so far, and yet this is still an issue. It's horrible. And let's face it, if you don't like gay marriage, chances are it doesn't affect you. If you don't like gay marriage, don't get one. The people against it are heterosexual and don't understand that it isn't a choice. It's a person with feelings who just wants to love the same way the rest of us do. But still, the world has come far. The LGBT community is a unified one, and gay-straight alliances are spreading over the country. Every day, we get a little closer to equality, to forming a world where love is valued above all, no matter who it is with. Love is love. Accept it. Embrace it.